Hello, this is Moresh, and today we will discuss what is OpenDAO. Now, what is OpenDAO? The simplest answer is OpenDAO is a series of protocols or an ecosystem of protocols, really, that intends to bridge the gap between real world assets and DeFi. So, our objective is to bring real world assets to DeFi. Now, anybody who follows DeFi probably is aware that DeFi has exploded recently. It went from less than $1 billion only about 6 or 9 months back to about $10 billion plus. And the whole permissionless rails of payments is probably going to see more and more value being created into DeFi. However, right now, DeFi remains more of a zero-sum game, which means that primarily you are betting on the price of something. You lock in it, you mint high, and then you try to go long on it. It's generally is a circular betting game. Whereas real world, which is off-chain assets, those have not been effectively connected to DeFi. OpenDAO intends to change that. Now, how do we do it? We are doing it as part of a two-phase process. Okay, two stages. Now, stage one is a money market protocol, which is essentially a fork of Compound. And the difference between Compound and us is we use real world assets as collateral. Yeah. And we already have a beta going on at opm.opendao.io. Stage two is when we launch the OpenUSD and Open or the OUSD stablecoin, which is backed by real world collateral. Okay, so it can be real estate, shares, invoices, or any other kind of asset, real world asset, which will be accepted by the DAO for Open. Now, OUSD will be accompanied by OEUR, OGBP, etc., etc. Okay, so it's a series of stable coins which will be pegged to the respective current country of the jurisdiction. Now, OUSD is a bit like Maker DAI, except in case of Maker DAI, they are trying to do primary on-chain assets with a minority of real world, and I don't think they have done much about it. Whereas we are the reverse. We are primarily doing real world, and there will be a minuscule on-chain component as well. Now, you might ask, yes, but doing real world assets on DeFi is not as easy as it sounds. And that is actually true, because when you try to deal with real world assets, you always have a human intervention of some shape or form. Whereas DeFi is about not having to rely on human intervention. It's about trusting the code, not the people behind the code. So the real question becomes, how can we achieve off-chain enforcement in a permissionless or a trust minimized manner? And that is where our secret sauce is, as opposed to any other player who is trying to bring real world assets onto DeFi. And that is done via a protocol which we call as the Cashbox. And that sort of forms the linchpin between the real world and on chain. So this cash box effectively becomes the bridge. This is really the bridge between the real world assets and the on-chain assets, and that forms the core component of everything we are trying to do. To learn more about the cash box, please see our video, link in the description below, and I hope to continue our conversation with you. Thanks. Bye.